Hi, Bodega Sisters. Happy Thursday. Good evening. I'm recording this episode a little late today. um, it's been a busy day today. Yesterday's news, I received some news yesterday, not the best news, from a really dear friend of mine. And that news led me to think about grief and want to talk about grief and life, friendship, and how fragile all of this really is. God, I don't want to sound so tragic and serious, but life is serious. There are moments in our lives that get really serious. The other day on Tuesday, sorry, this Tuesday this Tuesday that just passed, I had just gotten home from running around, running errands. And while I was doing what I mostly love to do, which is washing dishes, obviously I'm joking, a dear friend of mine randomly popped into my mind. And it was so random because I'm yawning. It was so random and strange because I have not spoken to this friend of mine in a while. But all of a sudden, while I was washing dishes and multitasking and doing this and that, I randomly started thinking about my friend. I remember thinking, damn, I haven't spoken to him in a while. I hope he's doing well. I gotta call him. I should call him and actually tell him how I'm a little bit upset because he has not listened to my podcast and giving me his honest feedback. Like, what's up with that? And while I was standing there thinking about what I wanted to tell him and point out, I also realized something. I didn't want to quietly hold a grudge towards someone I genuinely value and care about. So I remember saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to call his ass tomorrow. And then I'm like, oh, I hope he's okay. And I really hope he's doing well. And then the next day, mind you, like I just mentioned, I have not spoken to this person in a really long time. And then the next day, I got a text from him saying, hey, not hey, like my dad just passed. Man, I froze. I was so emotional. I'm very sensitive. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I just thought about him the night before, which was on Tuesday. It's like, wow, talk about telepathy. And it's like I instinctively maybe felt his energy, like what he's going through, I couldn't believe it. I was thinking about how I hoped he was doing well. I even thought about his dad as well. And then the next day, which was yesterday on Wednesday, I find out he had just lost his dad. You never know what someone is going through. And that's why I think it's so important to navigate like people with kindness and grace, because honestly, you just never know what someone is going through, or don't assume things. Like, just grab the phone and talk, or ask like, yo, what's going on? What's up with that? Or, but don't allow all these conclusions or assumptions like well you up or make you feel a certain way, because you just never know. You never know. So let's practice kindness and grace with one another. Honestly, yesterday's news made me really reflect so deeply on death, on grief, on life itself, because whenever we experience loss or witness someone else experiencing loss, it shifts something inside of us, right? Like it recalibrates like our perspective. And death has a way of making life pause for a moment. It puts us into reflection mode, into memory lane. It drives us through memory lane. We start questioning things. Obviously, we feel sad. Sadness takes over us. There's this level of gratitude. And like I said, it starts shifting our perspective. And I think one of the biggest things a loss reminds us of is how fragile life really is. How temporary all of this is. How unnecessary it is to stay angry for too long, to allow our egos to dictate our actions, to stay resentful, to allow fear to paralyze us, to postpone the things we truly want to say or do, because life can change so quickly in a heartbeat. It really can. Therefore, just don't stay angry at nobody. And grief. Grief is such a personal experience. We all grieve differently. Some of us cry. Some people isolate themselves. Some of us become quiet. Some of us become angry, feel angry. Some people stay busy to avoid feeling the feeling. Some people break down immediately, and some of us don't process it until years later. It is different for all of us. And I think it's important to allow ourselves to feel the grief, however it naturally moves through us. Cry if you want to cry. Speak to the people you want to speak to. Release whatever it needs to be released, because grief moves through our bodies differently for all of us. And to anybody out there listening who has lost someone or is currently supporting someone through loss as well, my heart is with you. It truly is. Because loss changes us. But it also reminds us of what actually really matters. Love, presence, staying connected, connection, our health, forgiveness, and time. Time is precious. And we got to value it and not take our time for granted. Because this one life that we all have is fragile. It may be one of the greatest things we can do while we are all here, while we are here on this beautiful earth, is to love more deeply, love more openly, forgive more freely. Forgive. Call his ass or call her. to express ourselves. Let's express ourselves more honestly and truly embrace life while we still can. Because once this life is gone, it's gone. Thank you. With cariño, Bodega Sisters.